Hello everyone, and welcome back to OWC World Cup 2022 semifinals weekend. We are rolling onward through the losers bracket for the first few matches today. We saw, of course, Hong Kong with that big victory over Indonesia a little while ago, and we are going to be moving on to our next match of the day here. It's going to be Romania versus China, the two lowest seeds remaining in the tournament. Romania the 11th seed, China the 12th seed. But don't let those seeds fool you, because these teams are going to both put up a huge fight against one another, and I think this is going to be a really competitive battle. I'm this one guy. Joining me this morning is none other than Mavs, our first time together. Welcome in, Mavs. How are you doing today? What are your thoughts on Romania versus China?
Yeah, thank you very much, Tig, for the beautiful introduction. I'm doing quite great today. Well, tonight, rather. A good little midnight here in Australia. But yeah, like you said, getting into a pretty contested matchup, I'd say, for this round. Seed 11 versus Seed 12, as you mentioned. But semi-finals, it's at that stage right now where I feel like if this was the finals matchup, like next week, I'd hit this again, for Romania to probably take this one pretty convincingly, as I think, they're just going to scale a lot better into those later rounds. But in this semi-final stage, pool isn't that much harder than last week, and China looked so good on last week's pool. A lot of the scores they put up, it was DT4, I believe they put the second best score up of the week. Nomod 5, they had an incredible performance, 3 players on 800k plus. So I think it's at the stage where China is still going to be able to put up a good performance into Romania here, and it may be on whether or not Romania shows up today.
Yeah, China was insanely impressive last week, right? They won 12-0. They played 2 matches, the first against Italy, the second against the United Kingdom. Went 12-0 in those, did not lose a single map. You really can't argue with that. They were, kind of the hottest team in the losers bracket in that sense. But, Romania, I feel the big thing with these two teams, right, as we were talking about before the matches, is like the core players. Because China is effectively a 5-man roster. They're gonna run the same 5 players for almost every map, with the other 3 filling a bare minimum number. And Romania similarly will have, kind of a main core with some of their newer players filling in for certain specific things. So, the question of whether, what does the real Romania show up is a good one to ask, I think, because I do feel that their core should be able to beat China, but there's an inroad to this match if you are Team China and Romania doesn't play at their peak. And we have to remember as well that Romania comes into this on the back of a really tough match last week. They played Germany, lost 6-2, and Germany was the only team in the entire tournament who could have beaten them on 2 of the maps that they lost, and one of only 2 teams in the tournament that could have beaten them on a third. So we'll see what the mental is like for Romania coming off of a match like that as well. That might be something to take into consideration.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, like we mentioned as well, the core rosters on this team, very, very strong, especially for China, where we're going to be seeing the same 4 to 5 players in a lot of these maps. But I'd say the same for Romania. They've got such a strong 4 to 5 man roster as well. You see a lot of those same players in for a lot of different maps, and it could really come down to whether or not these core players are feeling it today. If one of the core players maybe is having an off day, you got to bring in that fill player maybe for a map they normally wouldn't be in on. It can kind of come down to maybe those 6 players not performing their best, or, having a core player, just really not show up. And as we get into these bans now, I think pretty expected out of the gate, China are going to be looking to pick into those gimmicky maps, because Romania is just extremely scary on mechanics, as we all know. And so they're going to be banning out Nomod 2 and DT2. Bit of speed gone and stamina gone, just those heavy mechanics tapping maps. And Romania taking out those gimmicky picks, as I just mentioned. So Burnt Rice going to be going out. A weird double tap map that was having a little funny moment with the client earlier, so we won't have that problem this match, but I'm sure we'll see more of it over the weekend. And Hidden 2 going to be going out there as well. AR8, the grid aim AR8 gone.
Yeah, it's so wild to me to see a team with Badu on it banning out a Hidden 2, but in this matchup, it contextually makes a lot of sense. I think there are still several really mechanics-heavy picks for Romania, which works in their favor. I don't know that there's a world necessarily where they're very likely to lose DT1, DT3, or Freemod 2 against this China team that really has shown to be somewhat lacking in the raw speed department. But with this pool having, plenty of different picks in it, I do feel that China will still have some maps available to them. They looked really good on last week's Nomod 3, might be able to run that back. Performed admirably on a couple of the, less straight up mechanics picks like the DT4, which was, kind of a finger control pick. So they do have some options here. And interestingly enough, it's going to be a free mod 1 first pick for Romania, which is a very, very long, very consistency heavy. You've got some aim and some slider aim, and of course the free mod. So it does become a little bit harder, kind of a balanced mod pick for a free mod 1 here. It's an interesting place to start, I think.
Yeah, what a way to kick things off, Tig. We got a 4.5 minute tiebreaker long free mod 1 of aim and nothing but aim to get us started in this match. So yeah, I'm keen to sit through this one. I think we're going to be expecting a lot of big combos on the board here, especially from these no mod players and even the hidden players. This really isn't a map I think that challenges hidden all too much. Pretty much just because of that AR 9.2, it may be uncomfortable if you're not, super comfortable playing AR9 hidden, but I don't think players in this lobby are going to be having any struggles with that. Players like Badu and then whoever's taking hidden on China, which I assume will be Fia. The Hard Rock, I think, here may be the difference maker, and if we see some unfortunate performances on those no mods, because you're expecting big scores from the no mod players on this one.
Yeah, and something I do want to mention as well is some of the raw length of the maps in this pool can actually become a factor. You have, a 4-minute long no mod 3, you have a 4-minute long hidden 1, you have a 4.5-minute long free mod 1, a 4.5-minute long free mod 3, a near 4-minute long hard rock 3. So the length of this pool and some of these picks can start to test like concentration, especially on, and I'm sorry for saying this, a kind of boring song like some of these longer maps are. Like, maybe it's a personal thing, but sometimes when a map is super long and the song doesn't really keep you involved in it, it can be really easy to let your concentration just drift that little bit, and you stop paying close enough attention, and you may just end up missing on something you probably shouldn't have. So just a little thing to keep in mind. I don't think these players will be too badly affected by that, but it is possible.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like you said, I think, with the type of song it is, not necessarily a bad song, but, it's just like kind of low energy song, I guess, in a way, like, pretty chilled out. Then you can lose focus on these easier maps when you play like this free mod 1, which is, probably one of the easier maps in the pool just on that no mod. Keeping focus for sure. I think a lot of players have the same sort of struggles on hidden 2s, especially when they're quite lengthy. But getting into our first pick for mod 1 is going to be Lucrece, Raze, Eternum, and Badu up against two of the Lolols, 235, 233, and Crystal and Fia. I never remember which Lolols are who, but take it away, too.
Yeah, so you going upward, right? 233 is Milk Tea, 234 is Kurumi, 235 is David. I will typically refer to them as such, just because it's easier to keep track of for me that way. As we do see both of them that are in the lobby right now breaking on that early slider. Raze, trades one of those back. So some early breaks here. Maybe players need to get a little comfortable and sort of settle in. This is obviously the first map, as we said, so you gotta kind of feel your way into a map like this, in a match, in a big situation like this. Let those early nerves get taken care of. And Lucrece is the next to break as well, so already 4 misses in the lobby, and China's going to take this lead back in a moment's time here, I believe, because they do have a bit of a combo lead.
Yeah, and on top of that, one of the big combos for Romania, being the only FC left, is Eternum on that hard rock, which, it's not necessarily the position you want to be in. You got your player on your by far most difficult mod holding the only combo. A lot of pressure on him to hold on to that for now. As we see, the score is going to start going over, and we've got just the no mod and the hidden FC on Fear and Crystal here, and it is going to be enough to pull it over very, very soon.
Eventually, yeah.
Combos are coming back for Romania, so...
Yeah, that low AC from Fia is kind of hurting China a little bit, down at 95% on the hidden FC. Will eventually take the lead over, but we can remember as well from past years Eternum's heroics on hard rock on some free mods in late rounds, as he finds the break, though. Unfortunately, I had to say it, man.
Yeah, I do.
That's unfortunate timing, but he's had some amazing late round hard rock scores on free mods. Trying to remember the name of the map last year. I think it was the same stage that he top scored with an FC. Very impressive hard rock player, but that miss was in a pretty unfortunate location, just shy of halfway through. China has a pretty sizable lead now that you know, it's only 80k on paper, but it's going to continue to grow. So we'll see. It's going to need a break or two from them for Romania to be able to get back into this on their own first pick.
Yeah, I'm actually going to be seeing a double break there, but the one that matters is the one from Milk Tea, I believe, if I'm right. Eternum. Eternum
235 is David, I'm sorry.
As David, oh no. I've just forgotten instantly. Instantly! This is unbelievable. Okay. Yeah, so David finding the break, which is going to matter a lot more than Eternum's break. He didn't really have a combo, so... you know, combo advantage about evened out now, still very slightly in the favor of China, just because of that extra combo on Fia and Crystal, respectively. But things will start to go over here if they're not careful, especially with that low accuracy from Fia, like you mentioned, sitting on the 96. She's bringing it back up, but still quite a bit lower than those other players, and Raze beating out her accuracy by 100% there, almost.
Fia has, of course, the bonus of getting that little bit of extra hidden score advantage, so it makes her score, despite the lower accuracy, a little bit more comparable to the other players. But not what you love to see the low ac, but you do love to see the FC. And honestly, we're coming towards the point where it just doesn't matter anymore because Lucrece finds a late break, and this is 200k plus. There is a miss from Milk Tea to match it. And Fia, okay, wait a minute. So it's Crystal on his own, but Badu breaks. That was the opportunity for Romania, I think, if Badu had managed to hold there. Now, though, with Crystal still holding the FC down against Rose and Eternum, this should not be comebackable anymore. This is looking like an early break point here to start things off for China.
There's quite the combo lead. It's like, it's 400 to 500 in their favor, but it's just already, it's over 100k for China, and we're into the last 5-10 seconds of the map here. Yeah. I mean, that miss is going to help them, but yeah, it's just not enough time left, unfortunately, for Romania. And that's quite a way to kick off the match for what I would consider to be the underdogs in this matchup. China taking a breakpoint early on aim consistency. Yeah, I mean, I definitely expected that one to go the way of Romania, so surprising to see China come out of the gate and take that one, but pretty good scores. There was a 470k there on the side of China, so it was surprising to still see them take that ever so slightly. Romania putting in their best efforts, but just really no FCs to come through, and I think that's what cost them 2 S ranks there from Badu and Raze, so very unfortunate first pick.
Yeah, the Badu slider breaks as well as Rose plus the Crystal FC, which can't be overlooked even though he was on Nomad. Still a very impressive score. If I'm to be honest here, I don't think that was the optimal first pick for Romania considering the maps that are available to them. I think you need to pick skill cap or raw tapping mechanics if you're Romania in this matchup, not a relatively speaking easy free mod that's just based around slider aim. I don't think that was their best option available for a first pick, and they kind of paid the price for it, so we'll have to see what they do to adjust their picks going forward. China, for their part, first picking DT4, they did really well in last week's DT4, but this is a completely different style of map, right? This is kind of aim control alt, whereas the previous one was much more about just the raw finger control. So it's going to be a quite different type of DT4 pick, but again, I think it's a pretty good one for them as far as DT picks go, because it's not going to be requiring that high BPM tapping like some of the others.
Yeah, and especially what makes this DT4 very different from last week's is the fact that it's not at that AR 10.3 either. So you're at about an AR 10.1 or close to it, AR 10, AR 10.1. So you know, it is quite a significant drop down. You know, going from playing 10.3 to like an AR 10 DT4 is, you know, it is a lot more comfortability in these lower AR maps. So there's also that factor to take into account. I think China's going to look even more comfortable on this one than they did last week. That's not to say they'll get better scores, but I think this is a pretty good pick for them straight out of the gate. I think it's a good chance for them to go up 2-0. And yeah, like you said, I think the pick from Romania early, they had so many more mechanics heavy picks they should have gone into first, and to go with the free mod 1 map that definitely isn't testing China's skill cap, I don't think it's really, you know, pushing their skill cap in the slightest. You're just going for consistency right out of the gate, which, yeah, I don't think it was the greatest of picks from Romania, but hopefully they're able to rectify that moving forward and go for some more mechanics focused picks.
Yeah, but first we're gonna get not quite raw mechanics here. It's gonna be Lucrece Eternum Kihest and Rolly against Crystal Milk Tea, Kurumi, and Fia. Fia, mouse only on a map like this is going to be a very interesting thing to watch. We'll see how that plays out. I think a player that'll be able to combo this, though maybe not ack it very well. And it's a couple early breaks for Romania.
75.
Yeah, it's a combo game angle for sure for Fia here. But man, the tournament key is not starting out well, so China's gonna have an early lead. And this one, relatively long for a DT pick, right? Nearly 3 minutes, so there is plenty of time, but not what you like to see. With Kies down at 91% and breaking multiple times. Same for Eternum, albeit with higher ack against a 4-way. China just really good at these gimmick DTs, it would seem.
Yeah, they're just so damn good at these slots, but what's letting them down right now is that accuracy from Fia. Crystal finds a break as well as Milk Tea, so that's going to be 3 FCs down now for China. Fia making a recovery, but that accuracy is just not there. It's going to be Rolly and Lucrece now to bring things back for Romania. It is going to flicker over, especially with that miss. There it goes. Rollo 234 holding on for dear life. Eternum finds a miscast as well. Things are going to stay very close as we approach the halfway point of this map. This is where it really starts to pick up.
Yeah, and those two combos are so important for Romania. They've got a double FC and 2 players who are really struggling a lot against a single FC and a recovered combo, but that combo lead is no longer there. It's a break from Rolly, so they just have Lucrece left on the FC, and now China can kind of run away with this. They're halfway through, they take the lead, they get a little bit of easier combo in the middle there, and this starts to get scary for Romania pretty quickly, especially with Lucrece breaking. There's nothing left now for Romania.
Oh? There's a break there from China, and that's the FC gone. So now, maybe an opportunity. Fia with a big combo as well as Crystal, but this accuracy from Fia is, you know, Romania's combos are kind of offsetting that. That extra little combo Fia has doesn't matter too much just because of this accuracy, but Chaos is going to be finding a break, which isn't going to help them at all in this road to recovery. Crystal holding on for China and is going to be the difference maker in this back quarter of the map. Got about a 200k lead almost. We get into the end here, and it should be sealed if Crystal and Fia hold onto these.
Now it's sealed. That's a 4-way reset for Romania. That's the map done. Job done for China. 91% be damned because it's a lot of combo and gonna end up outscoring Kiest by a couple 100,000 points. So, you know, even with that low accuracy, it's still better than the opposing low accuracy player. And man, Crystal is actually gonna just end up top scoring this because of course he is. I think that's something that you really can't overlook is Crystal in like semifinals and finals round is automatic. If he doesn't FC, he's gonna put up a great score regardless. And that's just another example. That's a 756k top score in the lobby, 1 break. I mean, that's back-to-back top scores for Crystal.
And we said Fia needed to combo game, and combo game she did. The highest combo in the lobby by over 100 with the 91% B rank, 1 miss, reverse choke. Unbelievable. I don't know how you play this on mouse only. Like, why and how is it possible, and why can you get 680k on a semifinals DT4 on mouse only on a map like that has such brutal aim control patterns? It's just so wild to me, man, that there's players like this, but yeah, a great first pick from China, and, you know, they're coming out in a way that Romania wishes they could have. 2-0 now to China, and Romania, they're going to have to put up a strong pick. You don't want to be going down at 3-0 this early in a match. It is quite a scary prospect. So, going to need to pull out a nice pocket pick here, something they know they can take, something they're comfortable on.
Yeah, and I think you would kind of expect it to be DT1 or DT3. Just because they have a little bit higher tapping skill cap in those maps. Plus, it's AR 10.1 and AR 10.3 respectively. So again, a little higher reading requirement, a little more tapping requirement. Also pretty long. All these DTs are nearly 3 minutes, which is kind of unusual. But if they don't go for one of those, maybe free mod 2. Unless I'm just completely missing the mark here and they actually don't want to play tapping. But there it is. It is the DT3. So I think this. Assuming this goes as planned for Romania, this probably should have been their first pick, but it's obviously not too late. Only down 2-0, but they definitely need to win it now.
Yeah, I think, like you said, I think this probably should have been the first pick, was maybe into those left-hand mechanics, get out of the gate strong, but, they're going to be doing it now. They're going to be running it back, so hopefully Romania can get their point on the board, and I definitely expect they will. I heavily favor this one towards Romania. Very, very strong just tapping roster in general. You know, you got players like Eternum and Lucrece who are just incredible at this kind of thing. So they're going to be coming in and hopefully putting up a point on the board for Romania. China going to do all they can, but without a solid 4, I think, for speed maps in this late stage, it's going to be a struggle for them.
Yeah, I mean, this is the type of map where they end up having to probably put in one of those fill players. I think it's Joseph Joestar for maps like this. Typically, in tournaments where I've seen him, he's often a speed fill player. And unfortunately, once you get to these semifinals and onward rounds, typically not a player who's capable of getting, you know, those FC, near FC, you know, 700k plus scores. So we'll see how that ends up going if he is the player that China fills this with. Lucrece Eternum, KS Rolly, I think, you know, very scary roster on, you know, kind of a DNB DT tapping focused pick. We'll see who the 4th for China ends up being. I'm terrified to see what Fia's Ack is going to look like on a map like this, bro.
Yeah, I think you know, from accuracy on the DT4, I think we're probably going to be seeing something along similar lines here. AR 10.3 as well this time round, which, I mean, can tend to just make things all the harder to app. So nice little DT3 though. Love it.
Yeah, seriously, this is such a good song. Like, yeah, the original is good, and Box Plot Remix just always makes things better. Big fan. But David coming in as a speed fill instead of one of those other 3. There's a world where China actually only uses 5 players for this match, and it wouldn't surprise me at all, regardless of outcome. So that's the roster set. This is already starting to feel like a turning point in this match. If Romania can win this and, you know, they've got remaining speedy picks that they can go into afterward to follow it up with. If China wins this, then as Romania, you're thinking, okay, what the heck do we do now? We lost, you know, an aim Fremont pick, and we lost a tapping DT pick. Like, if you're Romania, that's a really scary spot to be in. But I do think this favors them, as you said, pretty heavily. So should not, hopefully, for their sake, be a concern. We're gonna get into it.
I think if Romania loses this, it is it's a disaster strikes. I think mental might be an issue, so hopefully they can pull this out. I'm rooting for them because I want this to be a good match. So early out the gate though, Kest finds a break, so it's not a good start for them. But you know, we're not even a quarter of the way through, so we've got a long ways to go. And Fia's actually not doing too bad on the accuracy, almost the second highest on our team right now. So yeah, some good ack up, but Lucrece in the tournament, man, these 99s.
Yeah, those guys are just like, this sort of map is just second nature to them. That is oh my god. Okay, well, it's a full team reset for Romania now in the first quarter of the map. Kiest is recovering some combo, but they have no FCs left against a quad, now triple FC as Kurumi becomes the first to break for China. But it's Crystal, David, and Fia, and this lead can get really big really fast, and that is a scary spot to be in if you're Romania. Where do you even go? You've just got to buckle down. You've got to concentrate and just try to combo as best you can the rest of this map, because this is ugly. Oh no.
China is going psycho. What is this performance? They're just 3-weighing this right now, man. This is insane. And look at the actives as well. Lucrece and Eternum, they look so much more comfortable on this. Like, look at their accuracies. And even Rolly, you know, with the 97, you know, we got 96s on the side of China, 93. Fia actually with the highest act. It's not at all what we expected. But Romania just looks more comfortable. They've just broken in unfortunate spots, it seems. I'm not sure if they're on S ranks. I don't know if it was just slider ranks, but China, they're holding combos, and that's all that matters at the end of the day.
This is an outrageous team performance from China so far, even with Kurumi breaking a couple of times, and finally David finds the first break, but it's traded off by Rolly and Kies double missing, and I honestly, this map is already over. I mean, it's a 600k lead, and Crystal and Fia are still FCing. Like, this is ridiculous what China's putting up right now. They're going to end up probably somewhere around 3 million, give or take, and they're going to win it by nearly 1 million points. A tapping DNB DT that they're going to win by 1 million points with a mouse-only player against Romania in the semifinals. Like, you need to understand how nuts this is.
This is unbelievable. Look, all the props in the world to Crystal. Insane player for China for so many years now. An absolute staple for their OWC roster, always. But how good is Fia, man? I do not understand how good this player is. They just come in and just put up these scores week by week. Every week they show up and perform in OWC on the world stage. Like, they're just putting up these incredible scores. with mouse only as well, which, you know, it's just a feat in itself to even be a tournament player who's that good with it. It's just crazy to see how good VIA has been for this China roster, and just like they are here because of the performances I think VIA has been putting up throughout all these matches. Such a good player for them.
I didn't ever think that there would be a world where I would be saying the mouse-only player was just the only FC in the lobby on a DT tapping 10.3 pick, and yet here we are. I don't even know what to say. FIA is just going to be China's MVP, I guess. You know, Crystal top scored the first 2 maps, but like that performance from FIA was absolutely out of this world. And now that we go into this little break here between maps as we wait for the China pick, they're up 3-0. They're up 2 break points. Romania has lost 2 completely different kinds of picks. They're as on the back foot as it gets, and it's China's map to pick here. And if they go up 4-0, yikes, like in a hurry.
And Romania just lost a speed pick by 1 million points. 1 million almost. I don't know, man.
China should just pick Fremad 2 here and just like slap it all over the table. Be like, you guess what, guys? We're actually better than you at the skill set that everybody thought you were better than us at.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know where China goes here. They have all the freedom in the world. They can pick, I think, what they feel good on right now. It doesn't matter. I don't think what Romania is good at really matters in China's pick here. They kind of just have freedom to go with what they feel comfortable at, because they're just playing better than Romania today. And it's going to be Hard Rock 3. It's going to be the Chameleon map, Flame Wall.
You get high BPM, really fast ult. This map, especially with Hard Rock, is so difficult. Like, it can't be understated. And it's, again, a kind of a different type of map than we've seen, right? Like, you had, you know, aim control DT, you had tapping DT, you had kind of slider aim free mod, and now you go into Hard Rock and get, you know, kind of an ult. There are some bursts, which are pretty fast, and again, just upping the difficulty. I wonder, so it seems to me like Nanoya might not be here, Satono Diamond for Romania. I wonder how much of an effect that has on their rosters for some of these maps. Offhand, it's hard for me to say what he would necessarily be in for, but we have not seen him yet in the first 3 maps, so keep in mind. But if China can play as well as they've been playing with 5, now 6 players as CRZ Maki comes in for their first map, clearly that shouldn't be too big of a handicap, and yet maybe it is.
Yeah, I actually didn't even pick up on that. Satono Diamond not being here. One of the very strong core players for Romania, and not seeing him come in for this map now is probably going to confirm that he's not here for the match. So that is a big hit, I'd say, to Romania. It wouldn't have made a difference on that speed pick nonetheless, but definitely a big hit to take. Going to this Hard Rock 3, and I mean, I guess, you know, it's ulti. You played the DT4, it was ulti, you won it. Maybe there's some correlation there, you know. Sometimes it's just going to be as simple as it gets to you. Know? It was an alt map. We won the alt map. Let's pick another alt map. So here they go. It's going to be Hard Rock 3, and it's going to be Flame Wall. It's going to be Lacrease, Eternum, Badu, and Kehest up against Crystal. Lol, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 3, and Monkey. I got it. I was going to go for it, and then I took a deep breath, and I just decided to read what was on the screen.
Karubi and Milk Tea in for this one. Crystal continuing to be that perma lobby status. And, yeah, you know, Hard Rock alt. I like this after, like you said, it's, you know, you won the DT4. Let's go more alt. Let's see how it goes, and you know, maybe we get a couple early breaks with Lacrease and Milk Tea as well as Kurumi all trading early on. I've heard from people that this is, like, despite maybe appearances, one of the hardest maps in the pool.
Yeah, so, I think it's up there. I think it's up there for sure. I mean, even though they did win that DT4, this is kind of a very different alt map, as you were saying before. This one is a lot more aim-focused, as you can already see early on in this map. And a player like Badu is probably extremely scary on a map like this, so definitely a risk from China. So we can see early on as well, Lolo 233 going to be finding a break, and Romania got a 3-way going strong, and Lacrease with a big recovery combo. Maki as well going to be dropping for China. So it's just Crystal now, with that one supporting combo to back him up. And it's going to go pretty swiftly over in the favor of Romania here.
This is looking pretty good if they can hold those 3 combos plus the backing combo. you know, Badu has long been known as one of the best alt map players in the game. He just kind of eats Nomad 3s, and despite some of the faster bursts in this one, it's not beyond his ability to play by any means. So, you know, that's a scary player to be facing off against on a map like this. But really, it's all of Romania just playing incredibly well. There goes Crystal. That was the last FC for China. And maybe now we're going to start to see Romania kind of sink their teeth into this match just a little bit for the first time. Down the 3-0 double break, but halfway to getting one of those break points back and starting to maybe pull some momentum their way.
Yeah, and the fact that it's a break point that is most likely going to be the first point they take here, you know, most likely, I would almost certainly at this point, Hess finds a break, but their combos are just, I mean, they got 3 combos bigger than anyone's combo on the side of China, so definitely expecting them to take this one, and it's going to be really good to get that break point in at first as well, because if you can follow it up with a point off the pick of your own, then you've already made things 2-3, so hopes for Romania still going forward in this match. They find 2 big breaks. That's 2 huge combos gone as well for Romania, so it's just Badu, but just Badu is going to be more than enough for Romania, as they've already accumulated over a 400k score lead, and it's still gaining to this FC.
Yeah, this is pretty well done and dusted at this point. Badu just doing his job, coming in on alt map and dropping, well, almost an FC. This is not comebackable, so it doesn't really matter. Crystal, again, going to put up a pretty solid score, I think, by the time all is said and done, because he's got a combo going into the ending. But he also has the only combo going into the ending. And I don't want to say this was a mispick from China, because I do think this was a fine option. Just a little bit of an underperformance from them, and maybe underestimating the capabilities of Romania on a map like this as well. I feel like you should know how good they can be on Nomad 3s, and this one is, you know, just a harder version of a Nomad 3, basically. And so, that'll be Romania doing their job, putting a point on the board, taking a break point. As you said, now you get your own pick to try to bring it back to 3-2, and all of a sudden, if they do that, this match looks a lot closer. So, you know, the last map felt important. This map felt important as well, because they can kind of flip the script around now. They'll have their own pick to come off the back of the S rank from Lucrece, 2 misses from Badu and Eternum. Just a very solid performance. 763k from Badu, best in the lobby by 130,000 points. Yeah, or 120,000 points. He's pretty good at these maps, as it turns out.
Yeah, when you're picking a map like this, as China, you have to be saying, okay, one of us feels very confident in FCing or getting close to it. Because when you're versing a player like Badu, you have to expect that score out of him, you know. Crystal comes very close with the S rank. You know, in fact, a lot of the players on the side of China with 1, 2 misses, 3 misses, as well as Romania, there was only 1 player, I think, over 3 misses in the entire lobby. So, you know, everyone was just maybe that 1 miss less away from getting, you know, maybe a few 100,000 more points. It tends to just be the case on maps like this, especially. Very, very aim-heavy hard rock 3 like that. Can be very easy to find unfortunate misses in the middle, lose so much score. But nonetheless, Romania finally take a point of their own. It's going to be a break point, and now it has to be mechanics, man. It's got to be very difficult maps. Hard mechanics. They've just won the hard rock 3, one of the harder maps in the pool. I'm looking at maybe a Nomad 4 here.
You could go Nomad 4, you can go Nomad 3. You win an alt map in Hard Rock, go to the alt map in Nomad. It's the same thought process as, you know, you win the alt map in DT, go to the alt map in Hard Rock for China. I don't know if you go back into tapping if you're Romania after what happened on DT3, because obviously the free mod 2 is there, but I don't know that that's going to feel quite so good after what happened. They're going to instead go Hard Rock 2. So you do get some tapping mechanics called into play, but it's lower BPM. It's a lot more about, you know, kind of the flow aim, and with the addition of some finger control as well. Kind of a little bit of a swerve here again. You know, got to switch up the skill set requirements, and Romania is doing that, staying in the hard rock pool, but a very different style of map. I think, knowing their team, this is a pretty solid pick for them. I feel.
Yeah, I think this was a good pick. I mean, staying in the hard rock pool. They just won the only hard rock pick so far. Decently, pretty convincingly as well, obviously. I think I might have liked hard rock 1 more for Romania here, but the hard rock 2 is still a good pick. I think they should take this one, especially after seeing those hard rock 3 performances, but it's going to be on the back, obviously, of a couple of their players putting up big performances, and we're actually not seeing Badu in for this one, which, you know, because it is a little more tapping focused, like you said, That's going to be a big hit to their overall team score, I think, just not having a player like Badu in the lobby, just not having that presence. But of course, you've still got some very strong Hard Rock players, very strong, high CS players in the lobby for Romania. Eternum especially is the big name. Stands out to me the most. Incredible Hard Rock player, always on for those free mods on Hard Rock. So expect some big scores out of these players still, and I think they should take this one.
Again, or still, I suppose, no Nanoya. I guess we're just not going to be seeing him at all. I've seen some screenshots of him saying some things, but that's neither here nor there. So Lucas Eternum, Rolly, Kihest, Crystal, Kurumi, Milk Tea, and Maki staying in. So Maki, the Hard Rock filled player for China, in for a couple Hard Rocks back-to-back here. This is, again, an opportunity for a guy like Eternum or Lucrece, I believe. A map like this really suits those kind of players. So we'll see how they can perform. Eternum, the only one to hold that SS through the intro, speaks to his ability to play some Hard Rock. But it's immediately a break as well as Kihas. So over to China it goes. Who knows what I'm even talking about today?
Okay. Well, I guess Romania just double break, and China's just 4-waying this intro, which isn't easy, by the way, nor does it look easy. Doesn't look easy, doesn't play easy, and that's because it isn't. This map is very aim-focused, very aim-intensive. It's very easy to just find a break kind of anywhere, especially as you saw in that intro. Some of the wider angles, so tough on this CS 6.5. And it's just the crease for Romania. And China are just 4-waying halfway through this map for some reason. And I think 3 of their players could break here and they'd probably still win the point.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, a short map like this. I mean, I think this is the shortest map of the pool, or at least one of them, minute 47.
Yeah.
And it's already 500k lead. There's just not much to say about this other than China is really, really good. There's finally the first break comes out from Milk Tea. But Crystal, Kurumi, and Maki all looking very comfortable for the most part. Maki finally breaks as well, but really doesn't matter at this juncture. Just want to see if maybe China can pull off an FC. That ending has caught a lot of people out at the very, very end. That flow aim can trip you up. So here we go into the ending, looking for a double FC to put the exclamation mark on a big, big break point here for China. And okay, Crystal and Kurumi both hit that. All right, that's a really good score. I'm just gonna say that is a really good score. 3.5 million. Nobody under 666k. Wow, China. Wow.
That's an incredible team score. I think a 3.5 mil. I think a 3.5 mil on almost any Hard Rock 2 in almost any round is impressive, just because of how hard Hard Rock 2s can be to get good scores on in match with nerves as well. That is a really, really good team score. I think one of the top team scores we will probably see on that Hard Rock 2, for sure. So 3.5 mil out of China, I think it's safe to say, is definitely not what Romania were expecting. I don't think China were even expecting that, if I'm honest
No,
with you.
I agree.
So where does China go now?
Wherever they want. Because they're just kind of having their way with this match in a way that I don't feel that many people expected them to. You could go Nomad 3 for the ult. You could go Hard Rock 1 for some aim and some tapping. You can go Fremod 4 for down, 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 down. I mean, if you're China, the world is kind of your oyster at this point, because it really just doesn't feel like there's anything that favors Romania straight up, especially considering the maps that they've picked and lost. I feel, China can just throw in a good sort of way. They can just throw a dart at a board, pick whatever they want out, wherever it lands, and they'll win it anyway. And it's going to be hidden 1, so we're going to open up the hidden pool. We had the hidden 2 ban from Romania, and China's going to pick into the hidden 1, which is a really cool map, higher BPM, kind of that standard hidden 1 map aim, I guess you could say, kind of dense, angular aim pick here. Calicu.
Yeah, and I think if China were going into this pick with this, strategy they would have had at the start of this match, I would have expected a free mod 3, maybe a free mod 4. But, they've just got the world as their oyster at this point, and they can just kind of pick what they feel like picking. Hidden 1 makes sense. Say they banned a hidden map. Let's pick this hidden 1. Whether or not it'll work out, I don't know. You've got a player like Badu on a map that is pretty hard. This is the kind of map that, when I was watching this in the showcase, I was sort of like, oh yeah, this looks alright, like, I can probably play this. And I played it and I'm like, nope, No, I'm just like, no way. Like this map is so hard, and it's definitely largely because of this 228 BPM. Some of these angles, especially in the latter half of the map, are so hard to snap onto at this BPM. You have to be so comfortable just playing like AR9 hidden on top of this BPM, which is just already a challenge in itself to play high BPM at low AR. So I think a player like Badu is probably going to have a field day on a map like this, but there are players on China that I'm absolutely sure will as well. Crystal and Fia especially.
It feels like everything just keeps going back up.
We've lost Fia.
We seem to have lost Fia. I'm not sure. We're going to have to wait on what's happening with a ref situation here. I think we're going to probably get an abort on this one because Fia is MIA, and we'll get a restart. We're still very, very early on.
I mean, I said she was going to do well, and maybe
yeah, this is the opposite of doing well. This is this is not doing well. Okay, there, I believe the abort did come in. Not sure. We'll see what happens here. What they say? What? Nobody from Romania knew what was
She's
going
dead.
on.
Oh,
Fia is has unfortunately passed away. No,
Fia is deceased.
Maybe DC'd. I'm not sure, but we'll get back into it. And yeah, Crystal Fia has been the name of the game, I think, for China. But you got David, who's been historically a very good hidden player. Milk Tea, who's just good at basically everything. So let's see. Fia's PC seems to have crashed. Computer freezed. It's English as a second language moment there. So not sure what the time frame looks like. If it's just like reboot computer, get back in, we might be waiting a couple minutes. We'll see what it takes to get back into the next map. But yeah, while we wait, Romania just going to kind of cool their heels here a little bit and see... take some deep breaths, I think, right? The way this match has been going, you really got to try to find your calm center, be like a leaf on the wind, and allow yourself to maybe get into a little bit of a flow to try to make a comeback here.
Yeah, hopefully Fia's able to get the PC restarted in a quick enough fashion here to get back into the lobby. I would not like to see China lose one of their core hidden player on the hidden pick. So hopefully we get Fia back in the lobby very shortly, which I expect we will. It does seem like it was just a PC crash, as you said. But yeah, Romania, big chance here to get a break point. I think this is the kind of map where, before this match started, if you were to ask me, what team do you favor on the hidden one, I would probably not have said China. I think this is a very hard map, and a player like Badu, like I mentioned before, this is the kind of stuff that he FCs, but a whole star rating higher. So, sitting at 4 minutes as well, this is the kind of map where it's very easy to find misses in these key eyes. Just one miss there, one miss in the next key eye, and you end up with a 400k score. And if you've got a player on the other team that puts up an FC, then, well, it's gonna be a big hit. So I think Badu is going to be the name of the game for Romania, but that's not to take away from the rest of these players. Absolutely amazing at the skill set as well. Lucrece, Raze, Eternum coming in for them. And we've got Milk Tea and David.
Yeah!
Can I get it?
Alright, let's go!
It's Milk Tea and David on China, alongside Crystal. And it's going to be Fia coming in. Oh man, I hate that so much. I don't actually hate it, I just hate it. As a caster, I hate it.
I know how you feel, yeah. It's like when a player name changes mid-tournament and it's to like a name that they've been known by for years and years to something that's like some random anime character. And you're trying to commentate, it's like, what is this? They all had names that were normal before this year. Like, that was... They really did, I promise, but not anymore. Kind of taking a lot of time here, though. I mean, how long does it take before you start to worry about your warm-up and, your kind of ability to comfortably play, especially with it being a 228 BPM? Like, this is not a soil map by any means.
Yeah. As far as I know, if it's your own pick, you are entitled to use a timeout. So I believe, if necessary, China will use their timeout here, but seems like Fia's being added to the tournament server now. And here she is. She's in. Okay. So we're going to be good to go. Yeah. So if trying to take this, it's going to be match point. And it's going to be over to Romania's pick. Romania have a chance to mount a comeback here. We've seen them do it before. We've seen them do it many times before. But I think it's going to have to start with this hidden one. I do not want to see them go down 1-5, I think, in these early stages of the match. They can take this break point and mount that off the back of a good pick of their own. 3-4 starts to look a lot more doable. So we'll have to see. They're going to have to show up here, I think, big. But I don't think China's been slouching at all this match, evidently, from some of the scores on their team.
Yep. China has been looking like they really didn't miss a beat, pardon the pun, between last week and this week. They looked really good last week in their 2 6-0 wins, and they're looking, again, very good today, despite, we talked before the match, the big concern being their late round scaling, and clearly, at this point, that has not yet become an issue. And it's a couple early breaks already from Lucrece and from Eternum on the Romania side to match the 1 from David. So 3 FCs to 2 in favor of China, plus combo advantage on the 4th player. Early on, a very long pick again, as you mentioned, in the interim time period. So you've got a lot of combo to build up here and a lot of time for misses, mostly expected on the key eyes, if anywhere, but also possible in these verses. But if you're struggling like Lucrece is, this is not how you want to try to find some momentum for yourself.
There goes David finding a break as well as Milk Tea. So that's 2 FCs gone for China. Lucrece not having a great time. Eternum as well finds a break, but that's not the combo that matters. But Vadu and Raze with the FCs. And that's going to do a lot for Romania here. Oh, no!
Again, they have the big accolade. Look at Fiazak. It's doing what it did on Free Mod 1, 93% and 98 on Crystal versus 99 on Vadu.
I want to mention as well in the intro, I don't think I've ever seen that before, but Fia was actually at like 19% accuracy on the first like 10 notes. I think she 100'd every single one. And I just cracked up. It's so good. She's making a recovery here. And
compared to that, 94 looks pretty good.
Yeah, it looks amazing now, and this combo looks awesome behind Crystal here. I think it might be an FC from Fia, to be honest. I assume this is probably all just slider ends that have been dropped. But yeah, Vadu on his lonesome here, up against the 2 FCs from China, and everyone's supporting combo in the lobby is sitting about even, except for Razo, who just finds a break of his own now. We get about halfway through this map, and this is about as free as the combo gets.
Yep, this is, this for Romania is the sort of map you want because you have Vadu, but it's not what you want when you see that there's 2 FCs on the other side. There's like, one stream in this, but it's in the last key eye, so it probably won't affect anything in terms of the actual outcome. But that might, Eternum was able to find a break there, and another, in fact, Lucrece breaking on the slider, Vadu missing on the slider, it's over.
Oh.
I think the map just ended, because David and Crystal, as well as Fia, all helped through that. I think that just ended this. This is just 5-1 here.
Oh, it's just Fia and Crystal again, just doing what they do best.
But how good is China? Good is China?
I don't get it, man. They are just playing out of their minds. They played crazy last week, and then they show up and do the same thing. Like, if this was the Chinese team we saw in their qualifiers, this team would have top 8. I think we would have top 8'd easily. Like, they are looking so damn good. Crystal finds a miss, and it's just Fia to close out what I think is an FC, but I don't know if she missed at the start or not. We'll have to wait and see, because she's not going to miss, too, I'm saying.
Yeah, no, it's just not going to happen. It's an Osu playing mouse-only robot. Oh, well.
She missed on nothing.
The little back and forth. The little back and forth jump is, I guess that's what's going to cut down that FC finally. I don't know, maybe missed at the start anyway. Let's hope that for her sake that she missed at the start.
She did. Okay, it's fine.
830k? I mean, I don't know. 830k on Fia, 784k on Crystal, and it's 5-1. We said that there was a way for China to win this match. Like, it was a feasible within the realm of possibility, but unlikely. This is about as far removed from that prediction as possible, with a 5-1 China lead on all kinds of different maps, and Romania just not even able to get a word in edgewise.
I think Pick'em's people here are probably sobbing.
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, I think they are sobbing. I think at this point, people doing the Pick'ems are just praying for a +1, because I think most people put 6-2, 6-3 probably for Romania, and here we are, 5-1 to China. So pray for your +1s, guys. But we'll have to see. There's of course still a chance for Romania to get back into this match. We saw them do it before, and it's absolutely feasible for them to do it again. They just sometimes will just turn up and just start going crazy. So we'll have to see, but it's going to have to start with this first pick, and it's going to have to be a good one. I'm thinking the No-Mod 4 or the No-Mod 3, like we mentioned before, but let's see what Romania goes for.
The problem is here, right? It's like strategically, stylistically, you're in a really tough spot here for your Romania. You lost on, some aim, you lost on speed, you lost an alt pick in the Hard Rock pool. You're a team that has done really well in mechanics picks, but you're losing the mechanics picks today. And you're a team that is good at alt, and you lost the alt pick that was played. Both alt picks that were played today. So you end up in this spot as Romania where you, I think, don't know what to pick. And I'm right there with them. I don't know what I think they should pick either.
Yeah, I think No-Mod 4 might be the option. I just, knowing how hard of a map No-Mod 4 is, try and challenge China's skill set. They did take the Hard Rock 3, which was a very hard map. So it's feasible to go for something that is really difficult, and that, in my eyes, is this No-Mod 4. I think this is a pretty damn hard tech map. I say it's one of the harder maps in the pool, probably. So I'll have to see. It looks like they've got a timeout. Yeah, they're going to be opting for a timeout, which I didn't quite catch. They did that like over a minute ago, but they're going to be getting their pick now, and it's going to be free mod 3, actually.
They called the timeout and didn't even really use it. I mean, I guess they used a minute of it. I don't know how far down the timer had gone before they asked for the timeout, but so free mod 3. This doesn't really directly compare to anything in the pool other than, kind of the consistency aspect of like a hidden 1 and free mod 1. It's another one of these just incredibly long maps in this pool, high circle size, low approach rate. Your Romania, you've got Badu, good on low approach rate hidden. You've got a Turnham, who's good at small circle size Hard Rock, but I still don't know if I think this is the optimal pick here. I'm kind of with you on thinking that the No-Mod 3, No-Mod 4 might have been a good option. So
okay,
we'll see what they know.
Okay, wait a sec. So I guess maybe No-Mod 4 isn't the best option. Maybe going back on what I said, and here's why. I think because Saturno Diamond doesn't seem to be here, so picking No-Mod 4 automatically takes Badu out because it's quite a streamy No-Mod 4, and you don't have Saturno Diamond, so you're putting in 2 players where you'd optimally rather have Saturno Diamond and Badu in, because they are just like the core players for this roster, and you're taking Badu out when you're already missing Saturno Diamond. So let's go for something where Badu is staying in and he's gonna do well, because I think that might be what they're banking on now, and it might be what they need to bank on for the remainder of this match.
Well, that is a way of looking at it. I mean, Badu did top score the only map that they've won so far. Now, granted, he's been in for 3 or 4 maps now, and that's only one pick that he's been in for that they won. But I can definitely follow the logic there of we want our best player available to be on a map that they're comfortable on and can carry. But man, if this goes the way the other free mod did, it's not an attractive proposition in the slightest. So we're gonna see it's Lucrece and Rosé on No-Mod, Eternum, of course, on Hard Rock, Badu, of course, on Hidden. On the other side, it's gonna be David and Milk Tea on the No-Mod, Crystal, Hard Rock, and Fia on Hidden. So kind of the expected rosters for this type of map for these teams. We're at match point now. there's a little bit of an extra edge, a little bit more tension. One of these teams might, one of these teams is going home after this match no matter what, and it could be Romania right now, but they've got their own pick. Maybe can get another point on the board here.
Yeah, and this is 4.5 minutes of AR8, of fairly awkward AR8 as the map starts to progress. It sort of starts to get a little more awkward in the latter half. This earlier half, I think, a little easier to combo. But yeah, I mean, 4.5 minutes of AR8 nonetheless requires immense focus, as we were talking about earlier in the match. Mm-hmm. So for 6 of the players in this lobby, we'll have to see if that is a trip up for them. But everyone looking quite strong early on. We've got 7 FCs. Looks like Milk Tea was the only one to find a break very early in the map. And that's going to give the lead over to Romania very, very early on. And there goes Fia, and that's the AR8 hidden gone for China now. Going to be favoring Romania pretty heavily, but we're only about 1/6 of the way through.
And not what you want to see for China, the early break from Fia, who's obviously been, you know, their probably best performer in this match so far. But, you know, I think this is almost like a throwaway map if you're China. When you're up 5-1 and it's your opponent's pick, you're kind of just like, we're going to do our best on this, but it doesn't really matter because we have at least 2 chances to close it out on our own map. And there's a break from Lucrece, so it's going to start to even out the combo a bit. But, you know, if you're China, this is playing with house money at this point. So Romania is expected to win it, and I don't think China will be too upset if they do end up losing this. And they're not having the greatest time here as Crystal and David find a couple misses right past the 1/3 mark.
Yeah, those misses there are going to be huge for Romania now to start mounting a comeback, some would say, assuming they can take this map. And they got 3 huge combos to do it with. 3 FCs, I believe, assuming that's not a drop from Razé. But Lucrece making a recovery of his own, so we get about halfway through this map, and we're only halfway, team. We got another 2 minutes of this. Here we go. 2 minutes of Romania probably holding the lead, but we'll have to see. They could fumble. I've seen it happen before.
Yeah, strictly speaking, you know, when you have the best grasp on that bag that you can, but the bag can be fumbled in rare occasions. I think Romania just too comfortable with this map, though, by the looks of things, for that to be very likely. I mean, it's a nearly 400k lead, and you can just see the raw comfort level, especially Badoo and Eternum, they're mod players. Interestingly, you know, it's the difference of mod strategy for different teams. You know, some teams want their carry players on no mod for great no mod scores. Some players want their carry players on the mods. Looks like Romania does the latter. And yeah,
I don't like how Eternum has the highest accuracy in the lobby on hard rock.
Well, it's what he does. It's what he does. We've seen it happen. So yeah, CS 6.5, definitely a comfort zone for him. There go Crystal and Fia again. So, you know, we're gonna sit through the last while of this map. It's interesting, you know, from a kind of an analysis of the pool perspective, that the free mod pool has 2 maps that are 4.5 minutes long that are both kind of resident sleeper, because it's again that concentration thing that we talked about, and you have to keep your concentration up because you end up with this like stream section that's 3 minutes in and you've still got 1.5 minutes or whatever left of the map. But clearly, not the worst thing in the world here. It's Eternum with that break, but Razé and Badoo are just double FCing, I guess.
Yeah, Eternum broke his FC on like a slow slider section. That was pretty sad to watch, but you know, it's all good because his team's there to back him up. Yeah, Badoo and Razé just have these incredible FCs right now. Razé's struggling with accuracy, but who cares? When he's got an FC on his back and the crease as well, a very, very solid backing score. And yeah, China just all round don't look near as comfortable on this pick, which is... This match is kind of confusing me, because like, I came into this match thinking this is probably the type of map China would pick, you know, Romania pick it and they just destroy China on it. So I'm just a bit confused, but you know, yeah.
I mean, 3 mil with a Badoo FC, Razé, either a low combo FC or a slider break, not sure. He had 102 100s, so that might just be low combo FC, like unironically, that might just all be slider ends. Badoo, the low AR hidden demon, that's a ridiculous score. I'm just gonna say, like, that's about as good a score on hidden as you're gonna see on this map. Yeah, but yeah, right. You had China winning the free mod 1. You had China winning the hidden 1. You had China winning the hard rock 2. And then Romania wins the free mod 3, which kind of blends aspects of those maps together, and it's not close. So the confusion is at an all-time high, I think, there.
I think the only common factor I can find, well, the opposite of that, uncommon factor, is like that it's AR8. Like, it's got to be like maybe the only reason Romania just looks more comfortable. Romania, I'm just feeling it on their AR8 today. I mean, Romania has always been a pretty good low AR team, especially when you've got players like you do on that roster. But China is a team that's always very well feared on these kind of low AR picks. But Romania just kind of, I guess, just feeling it today, or maybe China aren't on that low AR. So now you kind of, as Romania, you're thinking maybe we pivot into these more gimmicky picks. Is maybe free mod 4 a pick on their follow-up pick. But of course, they're going to have to get through China's next pick first. And God knows where they're going. We've been everywhere with China. So where is it now?
Oh, man, this could be anything. It's going to be hidden 3. So we're going the kind of, not really alt straight up, because it's like, what, 170 BPM, so it's like a little faster than most alt maps. But it's kind of the alt-ish hidden flow aim finger control. There's kind of some parallels actually to last week's DT4 in this one, as well as last week's Hidden 3, which was another alt pick. I mean, hey, China won DT4 this week. Romania won Hard Rock 3, though. So, and this map kind of comes in between, I guess, right? Like, it's got some aspects of some different alt picks to it.
Yeah, this is kind of like if you got a No Mod 4 and a No Mod 3, you put them together and then you slapped Hidden on it. That's kind of how this map plays. It's very flow aimy and it has a lot of cut streams and some kind of accelerating space streams that you can often see in those kind of No Mod 4 slots. And it's got some slider aim in there as well. So it's pretty hard if you're not comfortable on Hidden, just in general, which I mean, of course, is what you expect in a Hidden slot. But yeah, this really, I think, emphasizes that fact. If you are not comfortable reading these accelerating streams with Hidden, you are going to over-aim them constantly. So I think a decent pick for China, especially with how this match has been panning out, and especially with the Hidden 2 ban from Romania earlier on. Although, I'm kind of having second thoughts about that Hidden 2 ban after how this match is starting to pan out now. But
after free mod 3, right?
Yeah, I still think it's a pretty good pick, nonetheless.
Yeah, China got a hidden ban against them, won the other hidden that was played, so logical to go back to the hidden pool, even switching up the skill set quite a bit. And so this is first of 2 potentially match points that they'll be able to attempt to convert on their own picks. So again, you know, the pressure is there, but it's not maybe quite as high as it would be if we were a couple points farther on in the match. And look who is here, making his debut in this match. It is Satono Diamond. We have a Nanoya sighting in the lobby. So after everything, he is going to make an appearance. We'll see what his actual playing level is like. Hasn't been in the match. Probably, you know, he might be warmed up, but he's not match warmed up, which are, I think, 2 different things. So keep an eye on how that goes. Turn and Badu Rosé, the other 3 against the kind of standard squad here. Crystal, Fia, Kurumi, and David for China. Gonna be watching Nanoya closely here, man.
Do we know was he just like not home or something?
There's some backing story, but we're not gonna get into it at this point in time.
I see. Okay, well, nonetheless, Satono Diamond is here. He's in the lobby, and hopefully he can make the difference for Romania getting into this Hidden 3. It's gonna be 7 FCs on the board still. Just Kurumi to find the drop, and there goes David as well. So both Lolols are down. So we still have the double FC for China, but Romania is 4-weighing this.
It's the double FC for China on the players I think you would kind of want it to be on so far in this match.
Yeah.
They do have the lower 2 accuracies on that side, so worth noting that's, you know, going to hurt their score a little bit on the double FC, but it really doesn't make a big difference when you're against the 4-way. And this map is one that stays pretty consistently difficult. You know, it kind of spikes a little bit at the very ending, but for the most part, other than that, it keeps a relatively similar level of difficulty throughout. There's first break for Romania comes from Returnum, but Crystal matches it shortly after, and that really damages China more, as they're now down to just 1 FC, though there goes Nanuya as well. So it's 2 FCs against 1 FC and a couple of big backing combos for China. This is going to stay very close for the time being here, about halfway through, and it's 100k or so to be the gap between them.
Yeah, it's 2 FCs to 1, but that supporting combo on China is actually giving them the combo advantage, and it's going to very slowly go over towards them, although the lower accuracy from Fia is going to kind of be offsetting that, but I still think they've got the advantage moving forward in this map. But we'll have to see. We're about halfway through now. A little bit of free combo, slow section. Players see the scores. Always the most nerve-wracking thing in a tournament match. If you don't play tournaments yourself, as soon as you get to that break and you see how close it is tough. It is really tough. So players holding onto these FCs are going to be watching it closely.
Man, shout out to Badu, accuracy 99.48. You can see the lead for him over Fia, the other FC, is 60k, just based on accuracy alone. So that's helping this lead stay where it is in favor of Romania, despite those big backing combos for China. Those nerves on Badu, Rosé, Fia, and maybe even to a lesser extent Kurumi might start to come into play here as we get into Sasuke. The big ult pattern, and it catches out Fia and Kurumi as well as Rosé. Crystal finding a break right after, and now it is the Badu show. David doing what he can, but Badu's FC might just be enough to carry Romania through this last KI here. That was the pattern that can really determine this map, and it may have just done that here.
Man, some of these accelerating like flow streams, some of these are so brutal to hit in, man. But Badu just hits them no problem. Hits the zigzag, and he's just going crazy right now. He's pulled it firmly over in the favor of Romania, and he is running away with this breakpoint. And it's the start they need to mount a comeback. Badu, incredible performance. The fact to consistently hit these streams, he gets to the hardest part in the map, and he finally finds a miss.
Yo, David hit that, by the way. David hit that, by the way.
Oh my god. Look at this combo from David. 1200.
Absurd. He's going to make this pretty close at the ending. It's not going to be enough, of course. It is going to be Romania holding, but that was a ridiculous ending from David for China. Wow. 745k, second best score in the lobby, but it's all about Badu keeping the 1500 combo all the way into that ending. And now you've got Satono Diamond here. You've got the pool kind of shrunk down to only a few picks left. You got the 5-3 score. You've got your own pick. If ever there were going to be a time for Romania to try to kind of bolster their confidence and their mental state, I think it's right now. They got the break point, and they can try to get this to a 1-point match with their own pick here, but they have to be so careful with this one.
Yeah, I've got the script out, Tig, and this is I mean, it's showing up to follow the script pretty nicely here so far. With a nice little 1-5. This was 1-5, by the way, and it's now Romania's pick with a chance to make it 4-5, which is then 1 point away from tiebreaker. So, yeah, and Satono Diamond has showed up too. So all of a sudden, I think what was looking like a very strong momentum for China, I don't know about it anymore. I think Romania are probably feeling pretty good now.
And this, well, after the way some of these picks have gone, maybe you go free mod 4 here. We talked about it before as being a possible next pick for Romania if they got through that China pick, which they then did. So maybe free mod 4, you go down, 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 and you say Badu, 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 Badu. Definitely a feasible option here for them.
Or do we go speed now? Because
with Nanuya here,
is free mod 2 an option?
Free mod 2 is on the table. It's on the table, but man, that map is really difficult. Oh,
okay. Is Badu in for this? I forgot what BPM this was.
This map is only 170 BPM, so I have to think Badu is in for it.
170. Oh, he's in. Wait, no, he is in then. Okay. This is a great pick. I think this is a really good pick. I wanted them to pick this earlier, but I was kind of thinking Badu wouldn't be in for it. But it is actually low enough BPM for him to play these streams. There are a couple really tough streams in this map, and the very start of the map has some pretty relentless cut patterns. I wouldn't call them cut streams, really. So have to see if he finds any struggles with those, but I think this is low enough BPM to where he should feel relatively comfortable, and this looks like a good pick for Romania. I wanted them to pick it all match. They finally pick it, and their backs are against the wall, and I think this is their chance now to bring it up to 4-5.
That all being said, over on the China side, you've got the trio, the Lol squad has pulled up to the Nomad 4, and they've got Crystal on their side as well, who has historically been very good on these tech picks. Kurumi and Milk Tea also really good at tech. David can fill just about anything, so China does have a solid roster for a map like this one. But it's hard to bet against the team that has Badu on a tech pick that he is comfortably able to play in. It'd be one thing if this was, real lazy 220 BPM cut streams.
Yeah.
It's a lot slower than that, though. It's something that he's much more comfortable with playing. So we will have to see. Lucrece, Eternum, and Radze. Not a Nanoya map, I guess. Despite him being back now, not the sort of thing that he would be in for. But man, oh man. This is going to be a knockdown, drag-out slugfest of a Nomad 4 between these two rosters.
Yeah, this is the type of Nomad 4 where, you've got elements of stream maps in here, but it's not, you don't necessarily need to be a stream player to play them. And, all the better for Team Romania here with Badu slotting in, and something he should be very comfortable on. So we'll have to see. Roster for Romania, Lucrece, Eternum, Badu, and Radze up against. It's going to be David and Kurumi with Crystal and Milk Tea. Oh,
there you go. We got it.
Wait, I could have just said all the names because all three of them are in, and no one would know if I was referring to the right one or not.
This is all the lols. We have so many lols in this match, dude. There are like 6 entire lols.
So many lols. Yeah, there's literally 6 lols on my screen.
This is lol 702.
Yeah. Perfect.
Okay. In we go. It's Badu with the early break, but Crystal had broken a bit before, so 3 FCs to 3. Combo advantage ever so slightly in the favor of China, but not by a whole lot. And this is, A, it's a really cool map, but B, it's a really difficult one. It's some very difficult slider aim, as you mentioned, some very difficult cut patterns as well. And so, well, whoever can maybe cheese a little bit of the slider aim might be in a good spot. So the second breaks come in, Eternum and David. So 2 FCs to 2. It's scary.
Yeah, David and Eternum finding a couple breaks here. Crystal starting to build up a nice supporting combo. Do also building up the supporting combo, but dropped considerable accuracy on those starting cut streams, so it's gonna not be great for him. Radze drops the FC, and so many players getting through the hardest section of the map there. That section is no joke, and Lucrece holds onto the FC for Romania, Badu with a strong supporting combo, but it's gonna be Kurumi and Milk Tea to hold onto these FCs for China, as well as a huge supporting combo from Crystal. So this is going to skyrocket over in the favor of China as we get into the last section of the map here. We've only got about a third remaining, and this might be wraps for Romania. If China continue this onslaught, they are going psycho right now.
This is like, you're up match point on your opponent's pick. They pick a Nomad 4 that they think they're going to be comfortable with, and China just comes in and says, we'll show you comfort on a Nomad 4. Double FC on Crystal, or on Milk Tea and on Kurumi. Crystal with the big backing score. David even with the huge backing score. And this is just going to be all she wrote. This is China ending this match in dominant fashion on this NM4 pick from their opposition. It's a break point to win it. We waited this whole match for Romania to pick this, and maybe we should have been kept waiting even a little bit longer, because evidently 9 maps in was not enough for Romania to be favored on this pick. China are just going to take this running away. It's going to be 600k or more. It's going to be a break point, and it's going to be the match in, I would say, upset fashion. China are going to take this 6-3 win. What a performance from their team on that pick. Wow.
Yeah, they are looking so good, man. This week and last week, they're just looking so good. I was expecting them to maybe fall off a little bit moving into the semifinals as the pools got more difficult, but they still looked so damn good. It doesn't seem like they're outscaled, even when we thought they might be. They just play the hardest maps in the pool. This Hard Rock 3, this No Mod 4, even the Hidden 1's pretty hard, and they play them super damn well. China taking that victory 6-3. And I mean, that's an incredible performance from them. I think that was definitely an upset, as you mentioned. The underdogs coming in and taking their first loser bracket win for the semifinal round. And yeah, I think moving forward, whoever they're going up against next, which I'm not 100% positive, they're going to probably be a bit worried, I think.
Yeah, so China is going to be up against the winner of the later match today, Russia versus France. That one is in about 2 hours. So China will get to wait and see how that one goes before playing the winner of that match tomorrow. And I think Russia versus France is like one of the most anticipated matches in this losers bracket this week, and China versus the winner of that is going to be really good also. But man, you just can't say enough good things about this China team. They really stepped it up when they needed to these last couple of weeks. The core roster has performed so incredibly well. Didn't drop a map last week. The 6-3 upset here, and they're just looking to keep this momentum rolling through the losers bracket because nobody has been able to stop them yet. It's going to be a big question to ask of who will be the ones to maybe put an end to this rampage that China's on.
Yeah, I think Russia or France could very well be the teams to do it. I think, both of those teams, if they are in form, are both incredibly scary, and France was looking pretty damn good last week as well. I think up against their match against Taiwan, where Taiwan played out of their minds. So, to see France go down to Russia, I'd absolutely love to see that matchup between China and Russia, and or to see France go up against China would be both incredible matchups, I'm sure. But make sure you stick around, because in an